So, right. I am now going to go over the patch notes. I am going to... If something doesn't seem that interesting, I'm going to skim read it. Because it's pretty long. Oh, God. And I'll comment on things that I find interesting. So, a mysterious entity known only as the Elders. That's just about the Elder stuff. 32 new maps and 2 unique maps. I thought it was only 1. That's pretty cool. New boss fight with the Elder and his 4 guardians. And then there's that new scorpion thing. Hey, I should move my hand. Thanks. Alerts are not on at the moment as well. Let's tell people that. New quest, the Queen of the Sands. What's that do? Completing the Stormblade. The Book of Skill quest reward for completing has been moved to the Queen of the Sands. Oh. Oh man, but we still have to do the Stormblade one. That's annoying. Right. Added 48 new unique items. That's a lot. Added 6 new divination cards. I still need to figure out what I want for mine. I just keep changing my mind. Don't agree with the rarity on divination cards, but hey, figure something out. Unearth fires a projectile on the pierce, cremation. See, but these are mostly things that we've already looked at and gone over before. I want to see like all the changes. Like these are all the new gems that have been teased for a while now. It's about Abyss, which we've already gone over. Actual patch notes. Minor features. New stash chest model. Awesome. You can now turn in divination cards in Navali in the epilogue town or in your hideout. That's amazing. They can all be found in the epilogue town. Handy. These are just minor things again. Right, here. This is what I'm interested in. Character balance. Intimidate now causes enemies to take 10% increased attack damage rather than 10% increased damage. This is a massive nerf. So many people play with Belt of the Deceiver, and 10% more damage from your belt is huge. Talked a lot about the XP changes yesterday. If you haven't seen, there is a video about that. Debate. Skill balance. Existing Vuln is now Despair, so they've split Vuln into Despair and Vuln. So, one's for damage over time, one's for initial fist hits. Your minions and their minions will no longer deal or take damage while you are dead. Oh, that's so cool for me. I mean, that was one thing I wasn't a fan of. And I mentioned it yesterday as well. Because I wasn't like... You're already like at an advantage by playing software, right? You have the 6 portals and stuff. But I felt the fact that you could just level up a character to 72 or something, put in all the jewels, and then just go AFK. That's not a fun way for anyone to kill the encounter, in my opinion. So, very, very happy with this. Sharpeye no longer gains a bonus radius while using your life. Damage bonus from using your life grows less quickly as the gem levels up. Damage bonus. Dealing 76% more damage at level 20, down from 95%. Let's see. Detonate Dead now deals spell damage based on the level of the skill gem, in addition to damage based on the corpse's maximum life. Wow. The base fire damage dealt by the spell part of the S being is significantly increased. Cool, man. We'll see more like clunky setups now. Like, as long as it's rewarding to do, then people will do it. It's an additional area of effect, and has a base crit chance from 5 to 6. So crit, Detonate Dead. Wow. Maybe if Ignite is being reworked. So, for reference, I haven't been spoilered on anything or seen anything. So this is all like my first impressions that you're seeing live now. Ray Spectre now grants additional accuracy to Spectres based on the level of the gem. Didn't even think about the fact that they had accuracy, but there it is. Bear Trap and while Rain of Hours now remove all movement speed as opposed to reducing it by 300%. Ah. Oh. Oh. Yeah, because that was kind of annoying. Shield charged and you were like super slow. I guess standing still. No, actually standing still is better because then you can flame dash. So that's sort of a buff for at least the way I play. Raging Spirits now have 15% less added damage multiplier, up from 30. That's a buff, right? 15% less added, up from 30. Got 15% more damage? What does your subpage still say, PC Child? Because it's just gonna be that way forever, I'm afraid. Summon Skeletons now have 50% more added multiplier, up from 30 less added damage. Wait. It's going from 30 less to 50 more? So it's an 80% buff? Am I reading that right? 80? You know, so I always imagine that when they're buffing and nerfing things, they just have levers and they're like, crank it up, crank it down. It's very little fine tuning, isn't it? Okay. So, more than 80. Okay. Anyway, that's crazy. That's kind of cool. I can see myself playing like Summon Skeleton Stun. Raging Spirits. Spiders created from Archives, Fang, and the Spirit skills can no longer taunt their enemies. Oh, didn't even know they had that as a feature. Maybe it's only if you're champion. The amount of burning damage dealt by the burning ground created by a burning arrow. A lot of burning. On a character with the pitch darkness threshold is now determined by the level of the burning arrow gem. Orb of Storms can now trigger lightning strikes from channeled skills. Desecrate. Now creates 5 corpses up from 3. This is a buff. The cooldown's been reduced to 3 seconds. Even lower than that. Cast time has been reduced to 0.8. Can now create higher level corpses at most levels except from level 19, in which the maximum corpse level has been lowered from 100 to 81. It's a nerf. Thank you for the resale hotkeys. Lightning Tendrils has been reworked. I'll do like all alerts and stuff after. It is now a channel skill and deals more damage on every 4th pulse. It will be interesting to see if they made it like decent. Those received a visual overhaul. The new version hits slightly less frequently than before, but has a higher sustained damage overall. I'm kind of curious about trying Lightning Tendrils. Minion life now affects minion life multiplicatively. Now provides 30% more minion life rather than 30% increased. Wow. Might actually make it usable, especially on things like Animate Guardian. It'll be really good. You have an extra slot. Dark Pike now counts as being a minion skill gem, and will thus interact with effects such as the one found on Cloak of Tom Riley. Wow. So you can use increased minion damage? Buff. Ruthless support can no longer support channeled skills. This is a nerf for Blade Flurry. So if you didn't know, you could like right click, and then on the 3rd right click, you would have the Ruthless effect for the entire Blade Flurry. If you were doing bossing and you were good at like keeping on top of like how many you've attacked, you would have 105% multiplier from 1 gem. Iron Will or Cyclone can no longer be supported by Ruthless? Why? Ruthless was amazing for Cyclone. It seemed super balanced. What? Why though? That was why? That wasn't even for the 3rd spin, was it? It's not a channel. Oh man, it was really good for Cyclone. Whatever. Iron Will can now support summon skeletons and will affect the damage dealt by skeleton mages if you're using the Dead Reckoning Threshold Jewel. Arctic Armor's chilling effect now slows enemies by 30% when you're hit, up from 10%. Oh nice. Melee attacks supported by multi-strike now more accurately take attack range, including area of effect, into account. This has negatively impacted some skills and positively impacted others, but in general, melee skills supported by multi-strike will target monsters that better fit the behavior of the attack. Bladefall's area of effect was wider than intended close to the caster. The area of effect now better matches the blades visually land. Total width of Bladefall has been increased slightly to compensate. Okay, that's good. So they get a slight buff for Bladefall. Stormburst is now correctly modified by factors based on the state of the projectile, such as powerful precisions. Projectiles have 100% against the pierce. Right, okay. Charge dash is now limited to a maximum of 15 strikes per skill use, as well as limited by distance traveled. So I guess they didn't like the fact that people were doing like the Quicksilver and having 0% movement speed, so you would like charge it up and let go and like brrrr. I guess they didn't like that. Charge dash is now limited. Oh wait, I already read that. Static strike radius has been increased from 19 to 20, bringing its total radius to 24 at gem level 20. Static strike's explosion now correctly applies ailments with 40% less effect. It was previously applying ailments without taking the less damage modifier into account. Right. Huh. Why is it just increased by 1 though? That seems so small. Ice crashes, I guess there are like the ancestral and stuff is coming, so too bad. Ice crashes radius has been increased from 8 to 9, from 16 to 18, and 24 to 26. Should be like 28. Still tiny. Yeah, and earthquake's radius is 25 to 28. I never understand, why would you want to use ice crash or earthquake? Anyway. Reeve's radius has been increased from 17 to 20, bringing it up to 24 at gem level 20. Hello. Oh, have they increased the 8 stack as well? Because that's what like really matters. Wither now increased the chaos damage taken by 6, down from 7 stacks up to 15, down from 20. That needed a nerf, it was so broken. While Power 7 radius has been reduced to 70 units, down from 120! It's a good thing I wasn't really in love with that build anyway. It's still workable. Item balance, divination cards, the locations, drop rates, and requirements for many divination cards have been reworked, in part due to the changes in the Atlas this patch, and in part to better integrate divination cards into areas introduced in Fall of Aerith. We have secretly moved where the Doctor divination card drops, so nobody has any idea where it drops now. Life regeneration mods have been slightly renamed and reordered as 2 higher tiers have been added. Life regeneration mods on rare have been buffed across the board, with the highest tier mod now rounding up to 20 life per second. That's pretty big. Existing items can be updated to these values with the use of a Divine Orb. When used on a bell, Essence of Insanity now gets 10% movement speed, up from 5. Hello. That's big. That's quite significant. Atlas only item base types can no longer be found in Vaal side areas. Unique item balance. At Serious Security, yeah, they were nerfed. We looked at that yesterday. They just grabbed Valpine now. Witchfire Brew has Despair instead of Vulnerability. And it's not retroactive. Well, it is retroactive. It does not leave any legacy values. And then both the Doom Fletches got nerfed a little bit. I think it's sort of a buff too, because it does have the increased physical now. Kong Ming Stratagem no longer creates a smoke cloud when a Socta trap is triggered. Instead, grants the Fog of War, which creates a smoke cloud when any of your traps are triggered. The skill has a cooldown. Lion's Roar now only grants knockback to the melee attacks during the fastback effect. Oh, it granted knockback to... Yeah, I used that on my lead Spectros Roar at one point. Legacy Acuity. Oh, this does not affect existing versions of the item. Oh, I have Legacy Acuities. I said this yesterday when I was trying to farm them. I'll farm some more today then. Cool. That means that if you have one on standard, it will not be changed. Oh yeah, several. I've sold like 9. Like hosted, chance to drop from monsters has been greatly reduced. This item was being used on a significant portion of melee characters. Okay, so now it's like tier 1 unique. Check prices. What's this? Oh. Wow. Well, I have some. Anyway. Bisco's color. Chance to drop from monsters have been greatly reduced. So what that most likely means is that for a normal player, Bisco's is not going to be worth it anymore. It means that Bisco's is most likely going to be worth it for people that play a ridiculous amount, because you need to make it back, right? Like for example, say a Bisco's color costs 32x, then you have to make the 32x back just from the Bisco's before it starts being worth it. So, we'll see. Queen of the Forest now has 2. We have a way around it. I got something for you guys. We'll say it at least, Ark. Queen of the Forest. I'll say it after I get one. I got some league tips started and stuff for you guys watching. Queen of the Forest now has 200 to 240%. So we have Legacy Queen of the Forest now. Right? Oh, capped at 100% for all versions. That's kind of sad. Rise of the Phoenix. Max fire resist reduced from 5 to 8. These changes can be divine. So that means there are Legacy ones. But there's 40 to 60 life, which you can't get. Omen of the Winds now allows Eye Shot to pierce up to 3 additional targets down from 5. Can be divined. So we have Legacy Omen of the Winds now. The Dancing Dervish. While Manifest Dervish is active, now has a 25% chance to grant you a rampage kill when it hits a unique enemy. Okay, we still just use it to proc rampage. The Pandemonius. The chilling effect now slows enemies by 30% when you're hit, up from 10. These changes affect all versions of the item. But they just buffed it. Good. It was already strong though. Okay, cool. Fire now adds half of your strength to your minions rather than all of your strength. This affects all versions of the item. Dead Reckoning now correctly replaces a number of skeleton warriors with skeleton mages when using Vol 7 skeletons. Death's Out now properly updates its behavior when items, passives, or skills change in it some way. I wonder if it's been like balance that's been changed for Grandmasters. Oxium. Clarify the freeze duration effect. Not effect is freeze duration, not effect is based on Ender Shield. Monster Balance. New monsters have been added to areas all through Rayclast and Oriath, including newer and more difficult versions of the parasites found throughout 6 and 7, and Kitava-fied versions of the Blackhearts. Ah! The number of monsters found in areas have been adjusted. Old Fields, Valruins, Jurist, Marketplace, Battlefront, Ebony Barracks, and Crystal Veins. Were they too many then? I guess Old Fields had a lot. I don't really care about the Barn Nurse, that's why I so casually read it. I don't really play Summoners. It was too strong anyway. Wonder how they decide what goes Legacy. I mean, it's a bit weird that like the Baron got nerfed in all forms, but Acuity didn't. Maybe it's just like, maybe it's harder mechanically. The following unique monsters are no longer immune to freeze. Instead of a minimum action speed, they will be set to if they're frozen. Shaper, Guardian of Chimera. Oh. All the Guardians. Vision of Justice. Hast. Oh! Wait, Hast wasn't immune to freeze, was he? Pretty sure I froze Hast. Maybe? Weird. Monsters which trigger skills based on the damage they take can now trigger those skills from taking damage over time. Oh. Oh, that's bad. I wonder if that's gonna be bugged. Imagine like if you like put ED on something with like Castle Machine, like the invasion mob, like the Hellrick one. Imagine if you put ED on it and all you see is like a blue snow cone. Like that just insta rips anything. Imagine if they fucked that up. That'd be so good, like the one we triple killed with. Imagine if someone dots it and you just see like brrrr, like a fucking machine gun of Ice Novas. That'd be so funny. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope they fucked it up. I love bugs like that. They always like make my day. Or like you run in with Righteous Fire and it's just like infested monsters that can spawn parasites when slain now grant increased experience and drops when shattered or exploded. You compensate for them now. Oh, that's amazing. Does that happen with crabs? Shield crabs now. Oh, nice. Oh, dude, that's so good. That's such a that's a really nice thing of them to do. Because if you don't know, when you clear like, you know, like the crabs and stuff that have like another crab inside them, when you kill those at the moment with Shatter, you don't get increased XP. So that's really cool. That's like, that seems like a small thing, but it's pretty big. That's really good. That's very nice of them. Probably hard to do as well. Crimson Scholars now give additional experience if shattered. Scholars? What are they? Monster mods reflect physical damage and reflects ally damage has been reworked. They now appear as Nemesis mods. Attacking a monster with physical or elemental effect now triggers a mortar spell targeted at your location. This spell has a cooldown. Ah. Oh, that was good. That was good for me. Both versions of Reflect now only appear on Nemesis rare monsters. What are you doing? Nothing. Doing anything. The effect created by Flamebearers, Frostbearers, and Stormbearers mods now appear more quickly and should... Oh, right. I was like, wait, have we made them faster? You sadistic. But no, they mean that you can see the effect faster. That's good. The Rislatha fight in Act 6 has been significantly changed. Rislatha's eggs now explode and create damaging patches on the ground. Rislatha herself is much more mobile. That fight was kind of boring. So what this means for you guys is that you should over level for Rislatha if you're playing on hardcore now. Like for example, with the big bear deer, when you're fighting the bear deer in Act 7 in Northern Forest, that area, you want to over level on hardcore. You don't want to do the bear deer at like level 62. So the same thing with Rislatha now. Over level, get like 10 levels over, especially on day 1, till we find out like how rippy it is. So both Rislatha and the bear deer you want to over level for. I can't like, that's so catchy, the bear deer. I like that. The lightning skill thorns used by the black card no longer deals a flat amount of reflected damage. Instead it triggers a nova of lightning projectiles with a short cooldown. I don't know if I kill people easier with this or not. The parasites infesting Hollow Skull, the willing host, is now called Encephalophage. Encephalophage? Encephalophage. I'm gonna go with that. Encephalophage can now leap slam. I feel like I did well there. Parasites that can drop off slain monsters will now match their host's rarity. Right, okay. Riptide now has better signals when it's a dangerous kill and creates fewer vortexes. Captain Arturian and Captain Aurelius can now drop items, just not very many. Oh, okay. Carrion Bearers are now visually distinct from their surface-dwelling counterparts. The life and damage of many Warband monsters has been adjusted to make them suitable map bosses. So are they harder or easier now? The beams, and I feel like they were already good map bosses, like the fucking Overgrown Ruin ones are insane. The beams in the various resemble encounter now has a more varied pattern. They also deal less damage, but the damage persists. That fight though just needs a buff. It's like so boring. The beams in the Kato Defiler Light has had the same treatment. Malagar's Slam in X7 and 9 now always poisons and maims on hit. Oh. Sulfuric Striders and Undying Operators. Fair. I don't really want to skip much of this either, because like one could be pretty interesting. Improve the Tallman encounter. Tallman and the Ankh can now use a few extra skills. The Ankh can do things? Katarina missions which require you to find, raise, and kill undead monsters now use different on-death effects. Is it Rapier? Reduces the amount of damage dealt by the Pillars of Carnage Rune Explosion. Dude, imagine if we got rune words in people. Everyone's Ball, Lightning, Act 6 and 9 deal more damage. Didn't Tarky already die to that as it was? Everyone's Stormburst in Act 9 fires an additional projectile. You can no longer stun and it deals less damage. The books have more life and deal 35% more damage. And Anaquaquotl? Anaquaquotli, Death's Worship, now deals physical damage with her projectile nova. Our Raging Spirits now deal more damage at lower levels. Can you imagine like showing up on a Tinder date or whatever and the girl's like, oh, my name's Anaquaquotl, and you're just gonna be like, no. No. Groost's bandit allies now flee when he dies. Dodri's Spirit is now a little quicker at racing zombies in Act 9. Dodri's should be like Dodo has been significantly nerfed because 40% of hardcore players die in Act 8. Yeah. Dodo in Act 9 no longer repeatedly summons stone pillars. The pillars now die when the encounter ends. A significant portion of the deprived trended encounter has been reworked. It has been made harder. In particular, Mulligaro's Bladefall and Chevron's large changes. Wow. The damage of Kitagawa's X Blasts, the skill shaped like an X, has been lowered slightly. That was pretty easy to not get hit by though. It's the mobs we're worried about. That's the of both Act 5 and Act 10. The scariest thing is the mobs. The Bear Acolytes in Act 6 now move more quickly. Brine Crack now has this sweet of crackling new skills. Brine Crack. Clockwork Golems no longer simply flee. Instead, they will move around you and to you based on different conditions. Their damage has been increased. I don't want any golem to have increased damage. The Augmented Dead in Chamber of Sins Act 7 no longer has a chance to launch a Lightning Soul on death. Oh, and reduce the damage dealt by the Harbinger of Disorder's Holy Mortar. Is that the one Rice died to? The one in Act 6? Dom can now throw a shield and it will explode into smaller projectiles. Dusk has a new projectile called Carpet Bombing and it doesn't make your floors more comfortable to walk on. The Window Shard deals more damage, has more life, and resists. Instead of just skull, they spawn in fewer numbers and are larger. Player Wretch in the Chamber of Sins now has some friends he can hang out with. Synonyms are a little more dynamic during the Act 10 finale. Oh, cool. Basilisk now has a Stone Gaze ability. If you face each other during its ability, you become petrified. Similar to Freeze, but it's removed if you're hit a number of times. I can see people dying to that now. I can see like fun clips of being like, dude, help me, I'm dying! Look out, dude, look out, dude! The blood-soaked Fallen in the Blood Aqueducts now explode on death, sending corrupted blood projectiles in all projectiles. Great, more corrupting blood stuff. Yukohama's Vanguards no longer summon multiple totems at a time while spectered, and the duration of their totem step has been lowered to 5 seconds from 10. They are less likely to place additional totems while they have at least one totem. Wickerman's Righteous Fire damage has been lowered while spectered. The monsters were using a version of Righteous Fire not intended for specters, and were dealing a significant more damage than intended. This seems a lot like where the ones before Piety, where like the Righteous Fire ones there. That's fun. Right, and then we're gonna move on to map balance. The entire atlas has been reworked. Many map names has been changed as their balance, tier, and position on the atlas. Many maps have also had their boss fights swapped or completely reworked. The rules used to generate monsters in endgame maps have been significantly reworked and rebalanced around the rate at which we expect players to reliably clear out the map. In general, narrow, linear maps will contain fewer total mobs than the map with complex layout. We will be closely monitoring and adjusting the balance of this change, and we expect to make further changes and improvements over time. So if you go into a Gorge Strand race course in the new map changes, and you click /remaining in any of these maps or reef, it will say somewhere between 16 and 35 monsters remaining. If you go into a cells map, there is going to be 27,052 monsters. That is the new balance I predict. It's the new cells meta. Map mods have also been rebalanced, and every mod now provides increased item rarity, increased item quantity, and increased monster pack size, though the magnitudes are dependent on the difficulty of the mod. That means that Elemental Equilibrium will still be the best thing to roll because it is such a dangerous mod. So Elemental Equilibrium now grants an additional 70% pack size, 110 quantity, and 7,000 rarity. Maokan. Monsters no longer gain endurance and power charges every 20 seconds, as this was consistently causing performance problems. I always wonder why they add that on. These monsters now have a chance to gain those charges on hit. The number of monsters that appear in the map have been reduced, but the area now grants an increased experience gain to compensate. That's very cool. Very cool. Maokan could be like the new meta for farming. It's gonna be expensive now. It's gonna be like, yay, I found a Maokan! I'm predicting it. I'm excited. Added a new map. Prefix. Feasting. Areas inhabited by cultists of Kitava. Nobody wanted that. We don't want those. They leap slam you when you die. Medify, it's a good thing. Many monsters which appeared in Act 5 through 10 did not appear in maps have now been added to maps. Map bosses which have multiple forms or faces no longer count as multiple map bosses for the sake of achievements and challenges. Oh. Suncaller Ash's Leap Slam ability has been rebalanced and now has a 4-second cooldown. Rektar can now smack around players who are standing too close to walls. Could it not leap too close to walls? Purge Hounds now come out of their gates from further away and will pursue players for longer distances. Oh, nice! Isn't that the things in Race Course? This is a buff. Water elements and their variants now appear in packs as a mix of visible and hidden monsters as opposed to all hidden or all visible. Huh? I don't get it. What? When have I ever seen invisible things? Well, that's sort of redundant, isn't it? The boss of Death and Taxes now moves 35% faster while immune to damage. It's easier to kite him now, sort of. Twisted Effigy. Monster corpses can be desecrated if you bring one into a map with you. What's the Twisted Effigy? Oh, is this the big, like, pole rock thing? Added a pack of magic monsters to boss rooms that were missing them. Oh, that's good, because that was annoying. Especially for Mr. Leech on Boots here. The Hallowed Ground unique is now based on the cemetery base type. Okay. Ball Pact has been significantly reworked. We talked about that lots yesterday. It doubles your leech rate and no longer instant, and is now in the duelist area. The passive skills behind Minor Mana now grants 10% increased mana down from 12, and the 30% increased mana down from 40, and 40 added mana down from 100. Okay, that was like a triple whammy. That was maybe a little too intense. I would have maybe left it at like 70 on the added mana. Oh shit, skip the raw. Raw map bosses now regain 33% of the maximum life when you break one of their nests. Oh, that's big. I've been just leaving it at 5%. Oh wow. So you might as well just instantly activate them then. Cool. That's actually a big change because they drop a shit ton of loot. I think they should make them more rewarding now though. But anyway, we'll see what happens. The passive skills. Oh, the Hema. I feel like I'm sneezing when I say this. The Hematophagy notable now has 3% of max leech rate down from 5, and Vitality Devoid is 3% down from 5. That makes sense with all the new changes. Passive skills, which previously granted increased melee physical damage while holding a shield, now grants physical attack damage while holding a shield. It is no longer a trick to. Oh, you can use it with wands now. For jewels and stuff. Wonder if it's like that on jewels too. Oh no, never mind, I'm retarded. Many passive skills, which previously only provided defensive bonuses while using a shield, now also grant increased physical attack damage. Oh. Removed one of the passive skills leading to Ash, Frost, and Storm. Ooh, that's huge. I always thought it was annoying that it was 4. That's big. Well, also, nobody's gonna pick it anymore. But still! Yeah, that's one patch too late. It would have been cuter last patch. Ascendancy balance changes. Okay, please no Inquisitor. Wait, it's literally just... Wait. Where's the rest of them? Where's the Elementalist? Where's Ascendant? What? Have they like... They've left something out here. Like there's a lot of classes missing. What's happening? That's not happening. Like they clearly just didn't write everything in. This is like a mistake. Brutal Fervor no longer grants 10% max life rage. Huge Ascendancy balance and rework in 3.2. So what you're telling me is that there's not going to be a single assassin over level 40. Is that what you're telling me? That nobody's going to play assassin for all of 3.1? Not one person. Unless they haven't interacted with anyone else and like don't know any better. There are too few buffs. Okay, I'll read that later. But you know what this means though? Inquisitor League! I love Inquisitor! So good! It's gonna be destroyed next league. Oh my god, Inquisitor is gonna get pummeled and fisted into the ground. Oh my god. It's gonna be ugly. Anyway. The map bosses you're required to defeat to upgrade your Pantheon have for the most part changed. Shakari has been added to the Pantheon. Labyrinth balance. Added a new Dark Shrine effect that can only be found in the Internal Labyrinth. I wonder what that is. Changed the requirement for some chests to appear. In general, chests should feel more rewarding and better suited for their level and difficulty. Huh? Okay. Increase the total amount of items found on average from silver chests. Good, maybe I'll open them. The helmet enchant, which grants additional projectiles for barrage, has been removed. Internal Labyrinth cuts one projectile. Sign of the mods. Ooh, cool. Anarchy. Bloodlines. Beyond. Oh, it's still 3C. Nice. I was expecting 4. I was expecting a nerf. Fortune favors the brave. Select the Zana mod at random from those available from the device, including any mods you have not yet unlocked. No Nemesis! Yay, boys! Ambush, Domination, Essence, Abrasion. Essence is in. That's cool. Oh my god, that's so amazing, dudes. Oh, that's so cool. I like that. I'm gonna run Fortune Favors the Brave. Abrasion level 4. Oh my god, yes! No stupid fucking picking up belts. Oh my god. Now you have to fucking farm it. Thank fuck. That's amazing. So, let's call this Necklace League because we're going to be picking up a lot of amulets. Why is no Nemesis a good thing? I don't mind Nemesis being a level 8 mod, but I hated it when they put it as a level 7 mod. How to get it? Farm the Divination cards. More importantly, this means a very low chance of an early Headhunter in the league, which I like. I don't like it as an early thing. I don't even want them from cards. Honestly, I don't think a Headhunter... I feel the same way about Headhunter as I feel about the remove only tabs. It shouldn't be available until the first month is over. Because it's the only item that completely changes the game. Right? It's not like any other item, right? It's not like build enabling. It's game breaking. If you put on a Headhunter, you slap Beyond on the map, and then... It's like a tank mod for Grand Theft Auto. That's literally what it is. It's literally like playing the tank in Grand Theft Auto. Headhunter is completely different. Or it's like typing in cheat codes for another game. That's the same effect it gives you. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want Headhunter in the first month. After that, I don't mind. But it's like, yeah, why? I mean, that's for Biscos. Everybody's going to be chancing for Biscos. PvP balance. Remove the level 60 Sarn Arena variant. Players who did not fit the requirement for level 40 will be taken to the open Sarn Arena. Characters which have entered the portal area at the end of Act 4 can no longer join low-level dueling queue. Oh, I said about this earlier. Death Zone now deals significantly less damage against players and Grandmasters. PvP only characters can no longer activate the map device. Bleeding, Ignite, and Poison now undergo PvP scaling based on the attack or cast time of the element source. For skills with time override, the elements use that. Cool. Completed Mercy. Oh, Mercy mission. Quest now rewards boost of support gem as well as a flask. The hedge maze has now been removed. What they should have done here was in the Mercy mission, they should have done that you get a second threshold rule. That's what they should have done. So you get one at Innocence, and then you get a second one at Mercy mission. You have to like finish Kitava and stuff, and then you can do the Mercy mission and get a second threshold rule. Because face it, most of them are trash unless you have both. And it's kinda... a lot of people, like, I remember I was talking to Noodle and she was like, is there any good way of getting the Frostbolt second Joel? And I was like, no, you gotta make a new character to level 50 just for that. Or buy one. But still, you know, I think it's... Whatever. Story glyphs has been added through all areas, but in particular added full of art. The strange barrel now contains many more ordinary, non-swarming things. Okay, that's good, because it was pointless to open in, like, events at least. The southern forest, especially in Act 6, has been fleshed out. The Act 6 version can now generate well side areas. The lead up to the Prayer Trinity, the hard entrance to Melgar Shabbat stop beating as you defeat the associated boss. That makes sense. Templar's stash in Act 10 also has been renamed to the sealed chest. Has been given a new model. Argon no longer discusses the Higher Garden, and talking to him about it no longer required for the all area achievement. Added numerous variations to the world. Paul's proclamation, you should check it out. Pretty neat. Okay, I will. I've actually gotten a little more into lore stuff. This doesn't seem interesting. Prophecies. Rare monsters are now able to fulfill the requirement for unique items have been added to various locations throughout the world. They provide the opportunity to obtain an item with a high enough level to be 6ing. Rare monsters able to fulfill the So, Belly. Why though? I am actually not a fan of that. I kind of like that you like can just go to like the easiest place. I like that some of them you had to either find in maps or that it was like better to find them in maps. Like sure, early on if you're really struggling to get it, yeah, you can go get a level 47 belly, but then you have to use 350 jewelers to 6-socket it. It's not like you have to use 1,500 fusings to 6-link it. It's literally 350 jewelers. That is not a big deal. Anyway. You are no longer required to have a subject of a fated unique prophecy equipped and can now complete such prophecies by merely holding the unique item. Oh nice, that's a huge change. The prophecy of the twins, which turns a non-twin map into a twin map, no longer runs the 6% increased quantity items found. Prophecy Monster Thresher now completes a thank you! I was like, why doesn't it? Every time I open it, I think I said that every single time I open a Monster Thresher, that why isn't it like the Strongboxes one? No, it doesn't make a 16 belly more common. The Prophecy Monster Thresher one always annoyed me. I don't know, it's just, anyway. See if there are any big bug changes. Fixed a lot of typos and mismatches, fixed a bug where certain chests in Labyrinth were intended to drop only jewelry. Oh, okay. A bug caused earlier levels of raised zombie to display the wrong life. Not affect balance. Fixed a bug where some reachy requirements we continue to do is slayed after completing. Settle the siren, give a corrupted without the okay. They are there. Oh, okay, I'm gonna try to skim the bug fixes. See if there's anything important. Practical application granted strength and dexterity rather than combined. Doesn't change the passive. How does it not? Okay, whatever. Fixed the bug where you could bypass the barrier in Act 7 Chamber Sins early. Fixed the bug where Ice Bite could support Totem, but its effect not working. Fixed the portability description of Ice Bite and Innervate. Fixed the bug where the Defiance Notable was granting increased melee physical that was not conditional to holding a shield. Oh, I didn't know that. Fixed the bug where you could leap some out of General Adu's area without completing the encounter. Also prevented to the Trath and Powder until General Adus is good. Good measure. You know what you did, Rise? How has this got anything to do with Rise? Didn't Rise just do the same thing as me and see like the No Girl video? This is what No Girl did. This like No Girl's the first one that I saw did it. Did it like 2 or 3 days before Rise. Anyway, fixed it. No Girl did it first! Fixed the bug with increased global armor while you have no energy shields not found on the broken faith unique item. Fixed the bug with the unique labyrinth shrine effect because a huge lag spike. I said I abused the shit out of it. Yeah, I used it on every character too. Control F Sunder. Fix the bug where enemies hit by Sunder's linear component also unintentionally are hit by the area of effect the hit created. It's like half the damage now. That's okay. Don't mind. Fine. We'll race fast. Is there anything else interesting in the bug fixes? Quick Sunder testing, not a nerf. Hey, I've done some quick diff. Okay, cool. Good. Last bug? Fix the bug where item hovers would sometimes vibrate. They fixed it! They fixed it! Oh my god, that's so god tier. That's so amazing. Well, that's good. I'm excited. So I hadn't told anyone this, but if that wasn't in, I was actually gonna uninstall and become a Hearthstone player full time. Like, it was just like every time I went to bed, there was like a vibrating item on like my interface. Sorry, I mean I could like sort of see it. It was like, so I was just about to play Hearthstone, but then now it's okay. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Fixed it. Right, we posted the 3.0 and wanted to quickly address some specific feedback. There are too few buffs! This is honestly a time issue. I wish I could do his accent. We need Chris ASMR. We have buffs planned that have been pushed back to 3.1 patches due to 3.2 being incomplete. 3.1 was under an aggressive schedule. Yeah, I'm surprised they got it out so fast. While we tried to budget sufficient time to include everything we want into release, we felt that this was an acceptable compromise over not having a big December release. Cool. That's fair. That's fair, Chris. Buffing stuff isn't just a matter of typing a bigger number into our box. No, I always imagined that balancing for this game must be hell. So, please note that many buffs have come in the form of new uniques and skill combinations that aren't 100% obvious. Quick skim. I read everything. Ish. Not enough buffs for unpopular Ascendancy classes. Incredibly Scion and Elementless. Scion's okay. It's Elementless and Assassin. Like, what about Assassin? Why would anyone play Assassin right now? Breach is on level 8 on EM. We absolutely know that you like Breach. That's why the Abyss League's been designed that way it has. It has a new Breach, and it's in almost every area. It is the new Breach. And it is in almost every area. It's balanced in basically the same way in terms of hectic fights and item rewards. Breach still occurs 10% of the time. It's easy to roll with the fortune favors the brave outcome. And we chose to include it on the list for a second consecutive league rather than rotating it out. So that's gone, by the way, in the next league. There's certainly going to be a lot of breaches open in 3.1. The bar nerf. This item should never have gone out in its original state. A single item running a 200% bodum to melee physical is not acceptable. We're very sorry for this and that we had to later nerf it. It's still a great item. From what I overhear in the office, the new Abyss Jewels are outrageously powerful for summoners and can roll so much crazy shit. Yeah, they're insane. They're like that. I feel like the Abyss Jewels are so underrated. They're like the biggest power creep. Probably, Jamin. The patch notes are generally underwhelming. Feel this approach was worse than holding back. No, you know what? I'm happy with these patch notes. I was, honestly, my initial... They should have written something here. They honestly should have, because when I saw this, I was like... It was like I'd ordered a pizza and I opened up the box and there was a slice there and I'm like... Oh, no, other than that, like, I feel like these patch notes are good. Like, I'm pretty happy with everything. Like, other than the fact that, yeah. Thanks, Steve, I appreciate that. I'll turn on the alerts and thank people and stuff after we've gone everything. But yeah, no, like, honestly, I just wish they would, like, have some, like, notes under, because This was honestly the same as like opening a pizza box and having nothing there. But no, that's a fair explanation. That's a fair explanation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the notes. I'm gonna like rush through them quickly. But I guess this is as good a time as any to announce what I'm going to be playing in 3.1, which is very easy to decide now. And yes, it is of course not an assassin. It is of course not an elementalist. It is of course. Can we guess what? Sorry. Okay, what am I playing? What am I playing in 3.1, guys? What base class am I playing? Everybody knows. Everybody should know by now. What am I playing? And what skill? Can we get the Ascendancy and the skill? Everybody should know already. Everybody should know. The skill as well. It's obvious. It's evident. Everybody knows what I'm playing. It is an Inquisitor, and it is a Thurl Knives. It's going to be most likely. It is EK Inquisitor, and that is most likely what I'm playing. So, yeah. Female doctor. Maybe Frostbolt, but I doubt it. Depends what my team looks like. Why not Frostbolt? So the reason I played Frostbolt in what you call it is it was, what's the way of thinking it? So we had Havoc as a carry with Kinetic Blast, right? And that is something that benefits more from Inspired Learning. It's able to carry a group better and stuff like that, and the same with the Thurl Knives. And the reason for that as well, especially with EK, is because it takes the physical component and it has the physical component, so that means that you're getting like sort of double buffed by a lot of the Inquisitor, or sorry, by a lot of the pickups. So that is a big thing. The other thing about Frostbolt is, and the reason I played it in a group, was it made it so safe for us. It's the safest I've ever felt. I generally, like, I didn't feel a danger because we had like the double support, which is already pretty safe, but the Frostbolt was freezing everything. Every Beyond Lord, like, it was so much focused damage, but it doesn't have the same clear speed as EK, and it doesn't have the same clear speed as Kinetic Blast. But it has that cone, where if you're in that cone, you're frozen, and you're dead like that. Because even without Inspired Learning buffs, I had 600,000 DPS tooltip, which is insane for such a short race thing. So, really, really, really good. But it's also sort of like a backup carry, right? Whereas for like main carry, especially stuff like that, then I think EK and KB is better. Surprised I didn't see anything about Kinetic Blast here. But, yeah, maybe later Stan. So yeah, that was our first triple kill. Well, if you go back and watch the video, and if you see every encounter after with that guy, you see that even if I'm spamming EK or spamming Frostbolt into that, then there's nothing bad happening, right? It's not that much damage. So the main thing that did the triple kill was the Spectres. Because there are 3 Spectres that he doesn't have control over, and they're just like, bang, soul eatered. So that's why there was so much burst damage. And it obviously doesn't help that me and Jamsa was attacking as well. So there's like 5 different people. Without Valpact, that's fine. Because Reflect is effectively gone from the game. Unless I'm really sleepy and roll it on the map. SRS seems like, sure, Byron's been nerfed, but I think SRS is going to be really, really strong still. I don't see a huge meta shift. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make an Ethereal Knives build guide for the start of the league. So I'm going to be making a guide on what I'm playing. I haven't really decided. I think I'm going for first 100. I'm not sure if I'm going for first Elder Kill. I'll see. I need to like figure out who's in my team as well. I know Bassox wants to play support because he can actually play hard. I think he stands out for good as solo playing. War Chief handles like everything. Yeah, I'm kind of sad about Ruth is not working on Cyclone. I feel like Cyclone kind of needed that, and I felt it made it strong. So, That's kind of sad. The UI changes to buffs and debuffs and fast timers? No. But yeah. So let me look through some things real quick. I'm very excited about all the new things coming. There's a lot of uniques coming. There's a lot of new maps coming. I'm very excited about that. New divination cards. Not that excited about them. They're not spectacular. What else? The Abyss League as well looks amazing. I think it's the first league I've been really excited about for a while. Like before it came out, like for example, as an example, I was not excited when they announced Breach. I thought it looked like a bad Beyond or like a boring version. And the reason for that I talked about yesterday as well, because it's something that's static and stays in an area and there's backtracking. And I thought that would be boring. It's not. It was really fun. It's one of the most fun links. So yeah. Very, very excited for that. Loads of nice small minor features. I really like the crab explosion thing. That's very well done on their part. The skill balance stuff is pretty alright for the most part. Pretty, like, nothing that really affects me. I'm surprised, like, EK wasn't changed. More importantly, surprised kinetic blast wasn't changed. Or barrage, like the base of it. There's some cool buffs, like insanity. Like 5% doesn't make it really worth it, but 10% is actually decent, and then you can craft another 5%. I'm not gonna make a volatile dead, it's too clunky. I'll be reading questions and stuff after. Also saw the changes to Reeve. That's got me a little excited. I'm a little worried about how big 8-stack Reeve will be. Hopefully this will be the Reeve league for me, where I can go Reeve again. Very excited about the monster balance. Very excited about it. And the reflect stuff. And like the map stuff, the Malkin stuff. This all looks very, very cool. Excited about it. Right, there's small changes to the passive tree, but that's also what I said would probably not be big changes. Only thing I was surprised about was the Ascendancy balance changes being so small, but their explanation is suitable. That seems fine. Like, I was already surprised that they were pumping out an expansion. And I'm happy with the Zana League mods. I think they're cool. Current 8-stack Reeve is 53, range new one is 71. I'm playing Reeve this league. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I'm not too worried about this under change. Pretty excited. So, yeah. Overall, pretty happy with the Passionates. Hey, Wethouse, what's up? The fast queue, I think. Huh. Nice. What? Flasks? Added a timer below each flask icon while the flask is active, displays the remaining. Wow, that's amazing. Debuffs are now displayed on a separate line. Wow. Can we move them? Can we move them, please? Please let us move them. Like barely gonna be a new skill tree done. So all my builds are gonna be, all my like 3.0 builds are gonna be fine. They haven't been touched. I'm also gonna be making like I'm not just gonna re-upload the guides I already have and saying 3.1 build now. So I'm just gonna make a video telling you which of the guides I feel are still good, still up to date. and like say for example like EK, and I'm gonna be making an actual EK guide. Yes, Chairman, they are. But that's pretty cool. If you got a Shaper or Elder item with the right support effects, do you think a cast on crit EK no could be viable? I think the cast on crit is too low cooldown. I think cost breeze is still the only way, like cost breeze and maybe Milner. In time to be late, passionate are fine? Yeah, I'm happy. Isn't no Ruthless big on Cyclone? So, it's not the end of the world. I really liked Ruthless on Cyclone. I felt it gave me... I'm just gonna turn off the music of it. We'll just have some silent time because I know everybody didn't like the fireplace thing. I really liked it. I really liked Ruthless and Cyclone, and I felt like, especially while clearing it, like done the white trash so much. And especially, this is especially because of the way I build Cyclone, is by stacking ridiculous amounts of attack speed. What do you think about Sunder? I don't think it'll be a huge change. I like that they upped the rarity. This is exactly the thing I predicted as well for Biscos. I like the rarity up on Lycosida. I am disappointed that that's all they did to Biscos. Because this means that it's gonna be more of an item for no-lifers. So I would rather have seen a general nerf. It's still gonna be the best thing now. Now you just have a harder calculation. Like right now, right? If I buy a Biscos for 100 chaos right now, it's probably only going to be like a couple of weeks for like a week maybe for someone like LZ or me, right? To play. However, if the Biscos is now 500 chaos to 800 chaos, right? Then it would maybe take a casual player. Like, there might not be a point for a casual player to buy Biscos. Now, something that most likely has not been changed here, and if you can't afford a Biscos, don't worry. Because especially if you aren't like pushing ladder in something, there is an item that you can buy called Gold Worm, and it is hugely underrated right now. Not super popular. And you, if you're a casual player, like if you play less than 6 hours a day, then you should probably not be going for a Biscos. You should probably be going for a Gold Worm. You lose 20% movement speed, you lose the life. Yeah. I would go for a Gold Worm. So Demon's Touch, like the thing about, and this might be different. This advice might not casual 6 hours. No, as in you're playing less than 6 hours. As in if you're playing 6 hours or more, a Biscos is worth it. I'm not saying 6 hours is casual. I'm trying to like give you guys an idea of when I feel a Biscos is worth it. As in if you play more than 6 hours, then it might be worth looking into getting a Biscos still. If you play less than 6 hours, I would go for definitely just a Gold Worm. Now, the problem is that there are new boots coming. So this might not, like, it might be hard for us to drop the boots. The reason Biscos is so OP, even though a lot of people think it's overrated, it's because the amulet is so easy to drop for so many builds. That's why it's good. Whereas with the new boots coming in, there might be boots that are insane. Those Abrat's poison boots might be like, well, I can't get Gold Worm. But yeah, so like if you don't have a ton of hours to play every day, make sure that you like think about it, because it might not be worth it for you to get a Biscos depending on the price. 3 hours a day is a lot. Yeah, exactly. So for like when you're mapping that amount of time, then I would recommend not getting a Biscos, because you have to make like just the like you gotta remember like I don't know how to explain this, but imagine here you have like this is like the actually let's use the square. Imagine this is like the base amount of items dropping, right? And then Biscos adds on another 18%. Right? So this is the quantity that Biscos gives you. And Goldworm as well gives you around the same amount. Like Goldworm gives you like 20, Biscuits gives you 18. So that amount has to be big enough within a certain time frame that you're still using it to justify buying it. Biscuits is like buying a Midas in Dota. If you don't make your money back, it's not worth it because it's a pure money making item. Yeah. 2 dicks. Just 2 bars. Kill me. So this is Biscuits, this is Goldworm. But if Goldworm is, even if they go up in price, if they're 25C and Bisco's is 400, then unless it's like magnet, yellows are not the same size. Well, one guy is just default unluckier than the other guy. Just leave my painting alone, dude. Goldworm should be gold. Man. So what I'm saying is if you don't have a ton of hours, like if you are like no-lifing the game and stuff, then Biscuits is still gonna be worth it. So like for me, Lulzy, it's still gonna be worth it. If you don't have a lot of, depends on the price. Maybe you can snag one for like 40C early, stuff like that. What if I find Biscos? It's better to sell it if I play 6 hours or less. I would wait and see what the prices are like. It depends. If the prices are high, then yeah, it's most likely going to be worth it to sell it. Why not both? I'm just explaining the difference. Like, yeah, both are great. But like the boots, especially for like if you're like someone like Lulzy has a harder time using Goldworm. Like, and like if you're trying to be efficient, trying to be fast, because it's got 20% less movement speed. You can get 30 or 33% movement speed on boots, whereas Goldworm only has 10. You can also get over 110 life, 120 even probably on boots. That's pretty huge. You can only get like 80 plus strength on an amulet. Like you can get so much more out of your boots. Biscuits could be more than 18% now that pack size is being buffed. That is true. Sedemus as well is a very nice item, and I definitely... Right, so that's something I did this thing. So, and that was like one of our like tactics early on, was to get a Piran Displacement, a Goldworm, and a Sedemus for everyone in the group, and then farm Blood Aqueducts. That's why everyone in our group had Tabulus so fast, because we just had the Quant gear early on. We didn't get a Biscos that early on, but still. So basically, it's not really a problem anymore since Biscuits would only be best in slot for a small percentage of players. I don't know yet if it's balanced. We'll see. But it's sort of a problem because it's still technically amazing. But we'll see. Biscuits shouldn't be in the game. I don't like quantity gear at all. I don't like Goldworm. I don't like Sedemus. And it just feels a little forced. How about the aesthetic? Well, then you drop 2 items plus your amulet. Or at least 1 item plus the amulet. That's the problem with the aesthetic. So I just wanted to like give you guys some tips like that for the new league. So definitely worth farming Goldworm. I mean, Tabula with Goldworm and stuff. What replaces Ruthless with Cyclone? Melee damage on full life, I guess. Our essences is going to be a thing in maps, yeah. So essences are already part of the core game. Yeah, I'm really excited about the new Reeve. Is Frostbolt going to be good? Yes. Would Ireshot be an okay league starter? I would never ever start with bows. I don't like bows. Notice there's 8 types of Abyss Jewels. Right, yes, that's another problem. So the Abyss Jewels are insane. Especially if you're something like Doomfletch or Facebreaker. AW. What, anime weapon or Ancestor Warchief? I don't see myself playing either of those. Add the Quant Gem back to the game. Kinda like the Quant Gem more because the 50% more multiplier is huge. What do you think about the Eye Shot nerf? Not that big. Still pierce 6 targets with 2, right? Good build for new players. I'll be making a video showing like talking about which other videos I made that are still viable or still good for 3.1. Mostly the same as like last time, I guess. I think Ancient War Chief is still viable. Yeah. You're still good. How do I feel about Fortune Favors the Brave? I think I can see myself spamming Fortune Favors the Brave because Fortune Favors the Brave has like, so Ambush is good, Beyond is good, Domination is good, Essence is good, Breach is good, Bloodlines is good. So you're most likely gonna win anyway, and Beyond is good. The only thing, like, Anarchy is not amazing. They're all good. I can see myself spamming Fortune Favors the Brave. Because all these are more expensive anyway. If I get Ambush, that's still 1 seed cheaper, or Domination, which is really good. And Essence is really expensive, so if I get that, that's great. I'm surprised they don't have quant mods on them, but still. Contagion ED is still good? Yeah. Yeah, only Anarchy is a loss. And Anarchy is still like a good mod. Mom's still worth it? Yeah. Sana rotation. Hard to get Headhunter, right? What? Oh, no, you just farm it. We just don't know how farmable it is. Yeah, like House Today is a good rarity change. I like that. I like that because I like random stuff, so. I would never play. Like, it's so clunky. Think about EQ labs. No, I would still do the pause lab farmer build. Spark being okay league starter? Yeah, probably. What new skill do you recommend for SSF play? New skill? I don't know. I haven't seen any of them properly in use yet. Domination or Ambush are worse than just Beyonding. Essence is RNG and Breach is good currency, but not really good XP. Right, but Beyond is still rippy. Like, you'll have characters sometimes where Beyond might not always be the most comfortable thing. Domination and Ambush are very safe. And gives you more map returns, which Beyond does not. You think this is weak for an expansion? Hardly anything changed. What? Right, okay. So let's just take a TLDR. Let's just like TLDR, because I'm gonna I'll forgive you this once, but let's say, alright, okay. Added 32 new maps, including 2 uniques. There's a whole new Atlas system that it's very dynamic. So we don't know how well they've done it yet, but I'm going into it with like, I'm excited because I feel like more people will have different atlases. There's a whole new shaper thing called the Elder. The Elder alone is really cool. There are 48 new unique items. There are so many things here. There's so many new things. They haven't changed X 1 to 10 much, but I don't care about X 1 to 10. Like, this is really big. This is really like, there's loads. 32 maps? That's insane. I could open up a map and have the same reaction I had to Beach. I don't know if anyone was here when I opened my first Beach, but I was like this. I was like, there's so much density. There's so many mobs. Oh my god. And the post, there's so many things. Ban someone? No, I'm not gonna ban him. He's allowed to have different opinions. I'm just explaining why I feel there's a lot of things. There's so much things. I feel like, for me, this is insane how they managed to have an expansion 4 months ago and they're already adding this much stuff. To the point where, if I can manage to get a GTG member to do an AMA, one of the questions I'm going to ask him is, blink twice if Chris has your family hostage. Because this is a lot of work. This is a lot of good stuff they've put out here. Like, they must be working under duress or something, because there is so much stuff being pumped out by GGG that it's embarrassing to be any other game development company right now. Like, I'm like, you don't necessarily need to love or hate everything a company does. You can go like, I love this, this is okay, this is great, this is dog shit. You can have a nuanced opinion. But like, and I'm very critical to a couple of things, but this is fucking good shit right here. Like, the only thing that I really reacted to in this entire post that I was like, oh, don't really like that, was the fact that they didn't have more Ascendancy changes. But as he said as well, that they didn't have the time for it, and that is fine, because they have done so much other good stuff. And something about GGG is that they don't even put everything in the patch notes. Like, for example, Necrovigil was just suddenly gone from the game. They didn't say, and they should have, actually, in my opinion, but they don't, because maybe they don't feel like it's a big deal, but it's a big deal at least to people like me. Like, Necrovigil is removed from the game. Like, if I saw that, I would have turned into a seal or a goat, and just like, I'm so happy right now, because Necrovigil was the most cancerous thing in the game. Now, maybe, and just maybe, like, Necrovigil, so many people don't even know it's gone from the game. There's so many things that are annoying that they've just removed from the game. But maybe, and I'm really excited about this, because of stuff like that, there is a chance that I'm gonna be like, guys, I just used like 40 chaos on rolling maps. And there's no burning ground. Guys, where did burning ground go? What happened to it? There is a chance, just one chance, that will happen. Because that's what happened to Necrovigil. Somebody in my chat just randomly said, hey, have you seen Necrovigil this patch? And I was like, no. So if you don't know what Necrovigil was, it's a Bloodlines thing, where if you killed one Bloodline mob, it would create a circle. Any of the other Bloodline mobs could not die inside that circle. So after a while, you'd have like this big bunch of circles where nothing could die. So, and there are several things like that they don't remove. They don't say anything. They just do it. And like the crab thing, that seems like a small thing. That's really big, because this means more XP early on, which is good for racing. So I like it. Especially if you're playing like a frost skill, or only if you're playing a frost skill, but I usually do at that point. But it's really good. It's really nice. The fact that crabs give basically double XP now. I mostly play shatter skills. And every time I destroy both of them at the same time, I currently have not been getting XP for that. So yeah, I really like it. Very happy with a lot of the things here. Very good changes. Yeah. Electro Link. Don't talk about Electro Link. Very, very excited. Very cool. Very cool.